weekend jobs, Grandma? Let me know if you can hear me and see the screen. We just had an X-flare. All needs a 5x5 and we'll be rocking and rolling. Alright, hey George. Alright, let's get going. Arkansas in the house. Right. Word. Alright, let's do it, guys. Alright, James Kaufman, World News Report today. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the 24th of May, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just had an Earth-facing X-class solar flare on X 1.12. I believe that's from sunspot group AR4098, but we will check that really quickly. We lost down here our sea baseline for a few days here, especially yesterday and into today. All of a sudden, our sea baseline is coming back. And we have at least one sunspot that looks very active. It is basically Earth facing. This will definitely have an Earth component to the X flare. So this is going to be an interesting one. X 1.12, I believe. We are going to show you that flare here. And there it occurred. Doesn't look like much, does it? Imagine the Carrington event in X45. What that must have looked like. 45 times larger than this. But that is enough with our shields down to cause huge, huge trouble. And I'm going to duplicate this because I want to see what happened on our D-Region Absorption Prediction Center and see how much of an Earth component this thing had. Those are just the C flares from earlier today and M flares. I wasn't even going to cover. Alright. Is that it? Alright, that must be it right there. It doesn't look like it has a huge Earth component based on the X-rays that hit the planet. You can guarantee that a CME was lifted off the sun, but I will say, based on the strength of these X-rays, it will have an Earth component, but it's going to be a glancing blow at best. And that is just based on where the X-rays went. This isn't a very powerful X-ray display here. We'll make sure at 152 we're looking at the right. They don't even have the X. They have the X up here, but they don't have it on the list yet. Just occurred. They're getting it on there. I can show y'all where it came from. It came from 4098 right here. And y'all did just see it right here. Boy, it definitely looks like it was Earth facing to me. I'm surprised that the X-ray Absorption Prediction Center is that mild. And we've got plenty of trouble coming around the limb here. I don't know what happened to this coronal hole down here. It just dissipated. We never got hit by any solar winds. Strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, y'all can see it right there. Alright, so we just got nailed, but I don't think we got nailed too hard based on the radio alternation and based on our X-ray flux here. It just doesn't look like a solid hit to me. But again, our shields are completely down, so that means very little, as you guys know. Again, from 4098, you You can see that they're all simple sunspots. There's not even a beta gamma sunspot, and definitely no delta sunspots. So we just had a simple sunspot create an X flare. That's something to talk about right there, isn't it? Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, y'all please share our vids, and I wanted to give y'all a peek. I shouldn't be doing this because I know it's not going to hit mainstream media. We're going to do it real quickly of what's happening in Switzerland right now. Of course, the same old, and I'm not even going to play it. All of Switzerland is like this, same culprits. We know who they are. Switzerland decided to let them in too. How did that go? They even ruined Switzerland. That's crazy. Switzerland and all the other EU countries have gotten together today and yesterday trying to figure out the easiest way to deport these people back to Africa in large amounts. So I can play this. It is crazy. The police were winning for a while, and now that's not the case anymore. Switzerland has been taken over by African American rioters from Africa, I guess. Most of these people are from northern Africa, and they cross over and ruin everything they can, I guess, right? Everything they can. We say, Chili Paint? Well, Chile, we just had an X flare, so maybe you'll be able to see it soon. It's an X 1.12, so it's not huge. Was directly Earth facing. I'm going to, there it was right there, leave this stuff up so I have it. You can see the radio alternation was not great, not substantial. Here's the X 1.12. They haven't decided what region it is from. I have 4098 right here because y'all just saw it right here. Boom. So 4098, which is actually the only sunspot my friend that does this told me to look for. He's with an agency. He'd rather not say. He's so embarrassed. But he told me to watch out for 4098. That is amazing. And remember, y'all aren't going to see what's happening in the streets of Switzerland on the mainstream media today. All right, let's get started. What a way to start a show, right? So what we're going to do first is talk about all the volcanoes that are in full eruption and or erupting. That's going to be the ones that you see here in red and orange. And we've really had an uptick in volcanic activity. I think the lowest we've seen in the last 18 months was 39 active volcanoes. And this is all according to volcanodiscovery.denmark. And these volcanoes are the ones that are all above water or above sea level. That's the only way they'll cover them. Now, NASA is also covering the other 76% of the globe that's covered by water, and they can see the methane when it explodes, and it's exploding everywhere. They can see it with their infrared that's pointed from GOES back at Earth. As a matter of fact, we could too. I just don't want to take the time. Imagine 26% of Earth is land, so the other 74% is underwater, and we all know how many volcanoes we've seen in the Pacific, in the Atlantic, and all around the globe underwater. We call them seamounds, right? We call them seamounds, not volcanoes. All right, everyone pick a number. Pick a number. I'm going to kind of count this out kind of out loud and kind of to myself. I think the last count we had was 80 or 81. That was a day or two ago. So let's get updated on how many volcanoes are now erupting. 30, 32, 33, our favorite number, 36, 36, 37, 37 going into this mess, right? 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, I've got 78, but you know what? That's a rough count through here. So, that's the official number we're going to go with tonight. Mark, on the mark. Mark nails it with 78. Great guess. Hey, Marilyn, how are you? Look, YouTube, guys, is unsubscribing my subscribers, and they're trying to hide my channel. It's because, for instance, I realized that this shooting was a deep state plot. I thought it was a false flag, but I'm guessing those two people that were Israeli really passed, only because Secret Service has announced that the father of the alleged shooter, if y'all watch my last video I just put up, actually met 3 or 4 weeks before the shooting and gave speeches afterwards and before, but met with Obama and high up Democratic officials at Obama's mansion. And that's the shooter's dad, who's a Iraqi veteran. They're both Mexican, Hispanic. They're both Hispanic. So I don't know. Everyone tries to pretend like they're part of the mosque that was near the museum, but it doesn't look like they are to me. They met with high-end Democratic leaders, and next thing you know, Elias is the name of the shooter, and Eric, his father, Rodriguez, is the last name. So they said they did a geoffensive. The father's phone, I've got all the proof and receipts on the video if y'all want to go watch it. All of it. That he's been at the Obama mansion meeting with deep state. Obviously, I believe that the deep state is mainly Democratic, but I'm sure there's some good old boys in there too, right? Some good old boys. All right. So look, this is the weekend, so we're never going to see anything being reported by Canada. The problem is that Canada is the only country now. Right now, Russia's not sharing as much as they used to, for obvious reasons. And right now, China's not sharing as much, but every other country around the globe shares all their earthquake activity with each other. With the exception of Canada. This is the official Canadian.governor page here, and they're never going to work on the weekends. The last one's always going to be circled in purple here. And you're never going to see them report a single earthquake on a Friday, on a Saturday, on a Sunday, or a Monday. Because they have a work week, much like the Greeks and a lot of the EU countries. 20 to 30 maximum hours a week. They don't work Friday, they don't work Saturday, they don't work Sunday, they don't work Monday. I would think that you would have shifts that would be revolving if we're talking about earthquakes. I mean, what do I know? Obviously, the people in Canada have elected their leaders. What a great job they didn't do. All right, let me see if I can get everything but the fives up here. It's like we do have a 5-2 in Russia. It's going to be just north of the biggest mud volcano in the world. All right, and the name of that mud volcano, James, is Xinjiang. You can see the only thing that stopped the last eruption was the Himalayan mountains. There's Nepal right there, the highest mountain range in the world. And you can see that the many eruptions over the years formed all of Thailand, Vietnam, Burma, and probably most of Indonesia, although we have a lot of volcanic activity down there that's also forming land as we speak. All right, see if there's anything big on the map we need to go for yet. The ones in yellow are awakening according. So we've had a swarm going down here on the southern tip. Is that Cape Horn, or y'all help me out? What cape is that? Southern tip of Chile here, ongoing for 2 weeks now. Here's a 5-1, and here's a 5-0. It is on a plate tectonic boundary. You can see in red there. We do have Michael Volcano, which is the South Sandwich Islands. Only one of them is inhabitable. And this is the closest that humans really get to Antarctica unless you're invited on an expedition. Did y'all hear about the Russians? One of them went nuts and started raping everyone. It's like a trip on the alien ship or something. And no one could rescue them because it's too cold for choppers or boats to come in right now. They're calling on the radio. One of them went nuts. Good times, man. Good times. Wow, look up there in Iceland. Now they have 20,000 active volcanoes. So seeing 2 in eruption and 2 awakenings, not a huge deal. It's going to be the Azores Islands, which is part of Portugal over here. That's going to be Cape Verde. La Palma is right here, Tiff, as you well know. See what else is going on forward. All right, we'll start to see the magma movement under Iceland here. Man, we're getting close. This is where there's one of the 4 places that the plates don't correct properly in the Western Hemisphere. There's 400 of them over in Europe in the Eastern Hemisphere. It's only about 4 over here. Look down here. We have some 4s to mix in with those 5s, and I'm sure if I hit the 3s, we've got magma. All these erupting volcanoes here, and you'll see that it's pushing the deadliest particulate known to man, PM 2.5, all up into Texas and the Central Plains. We also have a forest fires up here now, a lot of them, and it's pushing PM 2.5 down into the U.S. So it is a mess in the Central Plains right now, which we will take a look at. This was kind of a wacky job here, a 4.4 right there in Chad. That was kind of wacky deal. And these are frightening, these 4.2s, these 4.3s. Eventually, this West Coast is going to light up. It's going to be game over. There is a break in the plate tectonic boundary right here, so we're used to seeing action right there. If you'll zoom in here, the same is true. Right there in Iran, that's all a volcanic range. You can see the magma if you just visually look at it. And there's the plate right there. What's so funny is guess where their only reactor is. Their only nuclear reactor is right there on the plate. Can anyone ever not build a nuclear reactor on a plate tectonic boundary for me? Thank you. We can see around Indonesia, there's a lot of magma movement under the volcanoes. And then Zealandia, the continent that is rising here out of the ocean. We can see that we've got, I believe that's going to be White Island. That's going to be Tofu. But we got a 4.0 there. White Island Volcano. And White Island Volcano, there's two of them, and that's Erebus, supposed to be producing 6 ounces of gold a day. It just spews it out, and it has been for the last 20 or 30 years. They have all this blacked out, Google does, so you can't tell anything that's going on there, even if you go to Google Maps. Around Indonesia and the Philippines, you've got a lot of awakening, a lot of erupting, a lot of massive eruptions going on. Working our way. This is Zealandia Rising. We might have some new people, so I'll show y'all Zealandia. Now, there's going to be a lot of opinions about what's included in Zealandia. I'm going to show y'all what I believe to be included. And they're making this hard on me. It's a lot of maps to open. I'm not going to subscribe now. I want your picture bigger. I'll go get another one. How about that? All right, there's Zealandia Rising, and it does pretty much what I told you it did. I believe it really goes. What is this crap? They hit the right. They got this pop-up shit going everywhere nowadays. There's Zealandia Rising, and I believe it goes much further north. This is the Zealandia continent, i.e. the 8th continent, and it just depends. Here you can see a little bit better. You can see all the volcano ranges just moving into it. But this is Australia here, and there's just going to be a little path between Australia and Zealandia. Now, New Zealand is trying to claim the red part that's extremely shallow as their continental basin, continental shelf, but I don't think New Zealand is a continent, so how can they have a continental shelf? New Caledonia is the other island here, and then we have Papua New Guinea right here. And this is a really bad picture, so I do apologize about that crap. They've changed everything again on Google, how everything works. But of course, right? How everything works. Here's another, there's New Zealand, another outline that does go up to Papua New Guinea, to Tofu there. Around to Papua New Guinea here, and almost abuts Australia. Here is how close it gets to Australia. Now that's what's made the surf in Australia so great. This is real shallow water here for years, but now it's pushing its way through. Some of this crap closed up. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump to all. Hold on. It's going to be a shit show. All right. We can see that Iceland is just swarming. You can't even see the 4 volcanoes. There's so much magma movement. So many earthquakes right here. We got 2 minor eruption, 2 awakening, and plenty of magma movement afterwards. Look at now. You gotta realize there was never an earthquake in the Aegean Sea, but I told y'all that this is where the 10.0 that's written in the Bible would be generated from. I told y'all as soon as this was just completed, we saw a plate tectonic boundary complete itself with nothing there in 1 year between Turkey and Syria. And now all the energy is being pushed into the Aegean Sea. And it's just as the good book says, these are all volcanic islands, and there will be a volcanic eruption or 10 and a huge earthquake that will cause a tsunami. That's why they tell the Israelis in the book, don't even turn to grab your coat. Run for the highest mountain because of the tsunami. And that's also where they say that the skies will roll up like sackcloth. That's when this is going to happen. And this is all new. This is all brand new. We didn't see anything in the Aegean Sea here for, I guess, the last 4 or 5 years until about 3 weeks ago. And we do have all of the countries surrounding, was there supposed to be 7 or 8? Surrounding Israel. The only one that's not in play is Jordan. So, pretty weird situation. The American North American, Central America, which is part of North America, there's so much magma movement you can't even see where the volcanoes are. That's pushing PM 2.5, as I'll show you on our map coming up, all up into the Central Plains here, and we have big wildfires now. All of a sudden, up in Canada, pushing PM 2.5 to the south. Now we have some activity on the San Andreas here, also known as the North American Pacific Plate boundary. Nothing to get worried over. We move our way down into, well, Venezuela, Colombia, tons of awakening, tons of erupting, tons of major erupting. Then we move into Peru, same thing, and this is called the Peruvian-Chilean wedge. Bolivia doesn't own any coastline here. Argentina doesn't own any coastline here. It's all owned by Chile and Peru, although some of this volcanic park with over 40,000 active volcanic cones is in Bolivia, is in Argentina because it's so large. And I thought that this would be one of the first to awaken. It's been a very slow trip. I've got more than usual. I've got one major, one minor here, then moving all the way down, one awakening. This is more than we've ever seen. 2 minor eruptions and another major eruption. So 2 majors, 3 minor eruptions, and 1 awakening. That's as busy as we've seen the Peruvian wedge. Let's not forget about Herd Volcano. It wants to awaken down there in the southern Indian Ocean. I don't think any of this is going to be substantial enough to cover. Y'all remember what Switzerland looks like right now. I think there's an aftershock there on that 5.2.4.3. Oh, I would like to cover 2 other areas real quick, and we'll do it quickly. Look at all the volcanoes underwater. These won't even count. I'm sure that our satellites can see when they do explode, but we're not counting them, okay? Look, this is the North American plate, Pacific plate, Eurasia plate, Indonesian plate. They all meet right there where they're building all the nuclear power plants in Japan, right? And they're building 12 of them right now. They just got through building 10 more. They never worked out Fukushima. It is still, Fukushima, still, the rods are still headed towards the center of the earth. They've closed the whole nuclear plant, the whole city down, and the whole province down. The only way you can get to the northern part of Japan is one road that's opened on the northern shore up here. That's one meltdown in 2011. They're putting all that nuclear waste back in the Pacific now. And they had that funny saying, the only solution for pollution is dilution. Yes, the only solution for pollution is dilution. So they're trying to mix it in with our fish. I really love cod, and it really pisses me off that they're doing that. They're pouring tons of gallons a day into the reactor and tons of gallons a day into tanks, and then back into, and I'll show you a picture, back into the Pacific. They couldn't build any more tanks. The funny thing is, the damn plant cost $3 billion to build, and they've got $20 trillion in trying to save it. That's pretty ridiculous, okay? Pretty ridiculous indeed. And they just got through building their plant right here. Can they not see that this is a volcanic ridge? Can they not see that all of Japan's a ridge, a volcanic ridge? They just announced building something on Taiwan. Well, this doesn't connect. This is one of the non-connection areas here. We had 5 nuclear power plants just finished between, I have to zoom in so y'all can see, Shanghai right here. Can you believe you have to zoom in to see the biggest city in the world? And that's a zoom. Where's Hong Kong? And Hong Kong. If I zoom out just a little, Hong Kong, the biggest city in the world, disappears. And Shanghai's up here. 5 more nuclear plants right here on the continental shelf. Smart business, right? Smart business. And then I want to talk about this, this peninsula. It's part of Russia. We've got 5 or 6 volcanoes in heavy eruption and in minor eruption. We have magma moving all under them. This is the same volcanic range that goes into Kilauea. It's going to be Kilauea in medium eruption here. And of course, Mauna Loa could awaken at any time. And look, this goes off into another. This is actually a subduction zone. This is the North American plate. I know it doesn't look like it, but it is. And this is the Pacific plate. And usually you see a lot more action here. We'll be seeing a lot more action. I'm guessing this is Mount Spur. Yep, Spur Volcano. Right next to Mount Hayes, the infamous Mount Hayes. Right? Everybody knows about Mount Hayes and the aliens working in it. And Pat Price, right? If y'all don't, let me know and we'll do a quick one. All right, let's move on. Move on. Look at all the fires in Canada. They went from no fires whatsoever to all of Alberta and Saskatchewan, and some of Manitoba being on fire. And really some of Ontario, is that Ontario or is that, it's hard to tell. The fire just to the east of Winnipeg here, it's hard to tell. So everything in red is on fire. All that is moving into the U.S. We have some fires in Montana and North Dakota that are moving into the U.S. Worse than that, the deadliest particulate known to man, the deadliest air pollutant known to man, PM 2.5, which I'm about to show y'all, is being pushed into America's Central Plains, our breadbasket, right? $19 likes. Y'all hit that like button for James, okay, guys? I know that YouTube, they won't let you hit it lots of the time for my channel. It's because they're a bunch of blue-haired, disenfranchised tool jobs. And the women that work there, well, we'll just say that we'll probably refrain from saying anything. How's that sound? Tons of fires here. Y'all give us a thumbs up if you can, guys. Much appreciated. I'm going to show y'all the actual fires here. And hey, this is using, I wonder why it's taking so long to load. So these are fires, like I told y'all, coming from Canada. 16,000 acres, 70% contained. 1,259 acres, 95% contained. Over here in PA, Packerton incident. It's contained. Small incident. This is, what is this? This circle here is Wawa Springs, the biggest shield volcano in our solar system. And 20,000 acres, almost contained. Got a little one here. 100% contained, 482 acres. You can expect to see fires in a big circle around this area here. This is the volcano that stopped the flow of the Colorado River and created the Grand Canyon. And the Grand Canyon is the tool, along with ice cores, trees, and drilling cores. The Grand Canyon is probably our biggest tool on seeing what happened to Earth over the years. You can see back millions of years and look into the layer. And depending on how much of each element you find in the layer, you can see what was happening outside in the atmosphere. Let's see. That's my favorite place in the world. Over here, this is my trees. Wow. So everything in yellow and red is started today. Of course, LA, all they do is, this is the Valley Girls here, all they do is start fires. Not another town like it in the world. And they steal the fire hydrants for the brass inside too. They tried to actually weld the bolts, but then they would just steal a bulldozer and bulldoze over it for their piece of brass. This is Catalina. You'll see that Catalina is spewing. It's an active volcano, like all these other seamountains. Active volcanoes out here. You'll see it's spewing PM 2.5, the deadliest particulate known to man. Just 10 parts per million. Increase your lung cancer percentage by 36%. According to WHO and the International Research Association of Cancer, I want to make sure that I give my sources and that everyone knows that I didn't make them up. I like to use WHO so YouTube can't cry. Look, if we go in a little bit more, it'll show all these ones in red. They're still burning from yesterday. This is one volcanic range. This is another volcanic range. This is another volcanic range. This is another volcanic range down here. This is another volcanic range here. What a great place to pick to build the world's, well, one of the world's largest cities. I guess it's number 2 in the U.S. currently. About to be taken over by Houston because everyone's leaving this shithole that Newsom created. It's a big grift. So these are all, look, Southgate, Inglewood. You know how long you would make it trying to walk through there? You probably couldn't take 100 steps and you'd be done for. And by done for, I mean you'd be over. What a great part of the world that is. Remember the YouTuber that used to ride his bike through there? I won't tell you. This is the Palo Alto. Right here, all the big tech companies are right in here besides Austin. And they're staying pretty. These are all brand new fires. One in Napa, one over here in Sacramento. Along the coast bothers me. Got a new fire over here near Susanville. Those are all from today. And let's see if we go in any further. If we do get any. So this is Clear Lake. This is obviously, did we not hit? You know what? We didn't hit one of the things we were supposed to hit, did we? Don't worry, I can pull it up quick. We got to go over the USGS real quick, but you can see all the new fires starting. There's 2 in Clear Lake. This is the Clear Lake Caldera. This is Cobb Mountain where they have geysers geothermal. And this is just going to get worse and worse. Does everyone know that we have our very first, and I'm just going to use this map, our very first forming hurricane. I did a report on that a bit ago. Everyone wants to check it out. I will cover it in this too. This is a better look into Mount Spur, Mount Hayes here. This is Anchorage right here, not the capital, but that's Anchorage, the biggest city. 50% of the people that live in Alaska live in that little bitty city right there. And that's because that's where all the ships go crabbing and cob and all the seafood that we love so much. This is Mount Spur and Mount Hayes over here. Both of them have erupted 3 times in the last 30 years each for a combination of 6 eruptions. You can see all the sea mounds here. That just popped off. We'll never know about that one. Look how deep it is. 86 kilometers. 86 kilometers. Here we got, looks like, well, that's not Mount Rainier. It sure is, wants to be close. That's Rainier right there. St. Helens right there. Adams right here. And that's going to be right inside the city of Seattle. We can hope that it just shakes apart. This is going to be Mount Hood, I believe. Yeah, government camp Mount Hood. Just a 0.9 and not very close to the top of the caldera whatsoever. And then I brought y'all back here because this is the Clear Lake caldera here. Geyser's geothermal plant is here, owned by Calpine. The biggest geothermal plant right now in the world. We lost the one in Iceland from the big eruption in the magma. If you worked there, you'd be rocking and rolling and shaking all day long. Y'all let me know how many earthquakes y'all think that y'all would have had to deal with in the last 24 hours, and put me a second number down. Tell me how much you'd work there for. Imagine, the biggest earthquake I've seen there is a 5.8, but you're expecting one every 10, 20 minutes. I mean, it must be a total mind screw, right? And there's no sleeping. You might as well just work for 4 days and then go home, right? Work for 40 hours and then go home. Not going to be sleeping there. They have 20 wells drilled into Cobb Mountain, which is one of the volcanoes in the Clear Lake volcanic range. This is the city of Clear Lake over here. I don't know if they can feel these, but the big ones they for sure can. What are your 2 numbers? 2 numbers. Give me 2 numbers, guys. 44, Tiff. It looks like a lot. I won't lie. I'm gonna go 37. Anyone take that yet? And then I'll work there for $450 a year. That's $450,000. $1,000. Anybody want to throw their numbers in? Hey, that was sneaky. That was sneaky. I just saw something. It looks sneaky. All right, let's see. 43. Where did I go? Come in at 37. Tiffany Hartman, you are cheating your ass off. Tiffany Hartman, you're going to get in big trouble doing that. I'm just teasing. Look, I'm going to go into the deal. And look, I win. James Kaufman. I went in. James Kaufman, what did he say? I'm not cheating. I don't have time to cheat. God guides me. God guides me. Look, that's epic. That's so epic. Thank you, Lord. Huh? All right. I mean, that was epic. All right. What do we got down here? We've got LA. This is going to be our, what fault is this? I used to do this every day, so maybe I'll turn the faults on. This is where we're going to break off from our San Andreas or North American Pacific fault. And the new boundary of the U.S. according to all USGS papers and all institutions around the U.S. The valley has places that are 22 feet below sea level, 18 foot below sea level. And if y'all remember about 2 years ago, all of Sacramento, all the way down to Fresno, it's flooded. I thought that was going to be it. And we're going to be left over with some islands and some peninsulas, etc. There's Cobb Mountain, enough energy for all of San Francisco, all of the valley here, lots of Sacramento, Oakland. What a plant. Must be a total nightmare to work there, though, right? I can't remember. They're not showing a fault here. I'm going to grab it. I want to give you all a decent report. It's going to be a Garlock, excuse me. Now I've got it, now that I pulled it up. All right. That's going to be the West Garlock, Central Garlock, and this goes off to the East Garlock, as you can see here. And all this is going to be Little Lake, Sierraless, and let's see. Little Lake. Oh, I've never seen Airport Lake. One thing, Ridgecrest is the other town I was looking for. So what's going to happen here is this is going to break off. There's your Garlock here. I tried to turn it off. I thought I had, guys. My bad. And you're going to have nothing but a mess here. They did it all around LA here. All around LA here. There's a little bitty area here where the Salton Sea, the plate boundary does not connect right here. And these are all volcanoes. I did individual videos on these two volcanoes here, this one here. There's actually one right here, and several on the outskirts of the Baja as well. These are all fracking. Everything you see here is fracking. This is the newest area we're drilling in here. Let's see what we've got up here. Whoa! We hit the jackpot. All right, we hit the jackpot. We have one that's higher than any mountain in the area, a 3.1, and I'll prove that to y'all real quick. Negative 3.1 kilometers. Two feet. So 10,170 feet, right? Right? And that's from sea level, right? Right? So I said, God, they made this so hard. Everything's been redone. Look, this isn't even the right site. How would they suggest the site that wasn't even the right site? It pisses me off. Alright, so here we are, right back. I'll zoom out so y'all can tell where we are here. And here is the area here. As y'all can see, I'll show it to y'all real quick. We're looking in here for the heights, and actually these are the highest. Let's see exactly where we're looking here. So this is going to be over near this lake here, and quite some distance from our feature here. So let's see if we can bring it in. There's the lake. So it should be right around here. Look at that. This happened higher, much higher then these two, well, barely higher than this one, much higher, 2,000 feet higher than the closest volcanic caldera in the area. So that's just showing y'all, if y'all were able to keep up with me, what's going on, right? Crazy stuff. Who would have ever thunk it? I am just trying to get my bearing on where we're at, guys. Alright, we'll turn off peakery for a bit. We got that. We're right there. Pretty impressive. 3-1 drilling. Nothing to see here. On to NASA's fire map. They show everything that's this large is 1,000 acres or larger. So you can see starting to pop off around Wawa Springs and Los Angeles area, and especially up here in and into Wisconsin here, but really up here in Manitoba and Saskatchewan and a little bit in Alberta and British Columbia as well to the north. Nothing in the Northern Territory, which is regularly on fire at this time of year. Lots of fires. That's all pushing PM 2.5 to the center of the U.S. here. All the littler fires you can see in red. And Landsat, our newest, I don't know why we would put a new satellite that can only cover 250 miles, but you can see the passes that Landsat made. It's extra sensitive, supposedly. Extra sensitive. All right. The whole world on fire. Look at the East Coast. We usually have the exact difference. Right? The exact difference. It's usually the West Coast on fire, and there's never a fire on the East Coast. Well, we're going to look at this, but look at the East Coast. I love how the rainforest has no fires right now. The Congo is on fire. Remember we were dropping off 8 people in Sudan? I mean, that was epic. That was epic. You know where some countries might charge us, like our government's charging us $100,000 a day per prisoner at Guantanamo Bay. I showed y'all that yesterday. Hell, Sudan might take them for free just to feast on them. I mean, I don't know, but y'all can see we've got a lot of small fires on the East Coast, which is very unusual to me. And we've got fires here in Louisiana. And this is going to be, you can see it right here. That's the New Madrid, and that's New Madrid, Missouri right there. Right there. And you can see the Landsat passes here. Right. There's our air quality. A lot of it's being pushed in from the volcanoes down here. You can see all that in Texas and here. They've got stations turned off in the Northeast, which is really strange. Quite a few federal stations. All the private stations are on. All the federal stations are off. You can buy your own air now and hook it up to this internet and be one of these small dots. All the federal stations, and look, you're seeing some bad air quality up there, are turned off. It's going to be in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, parts of New York, Tiff. Not too close, but you know. New Hampshire. Remember, we decided New Hampshire might be a good place. Republican governor, they've been voting Republican. Then look at this, the Central Plains, where all of our food is. We have the deadliest particulate known to man. This is air now's PM 2.5. PM 2.5. Remember, just 10 parts. Look at it going up. Just 10 parts per million. 10, not 56. Increases your lung cancer percentage by 36%. Just 10, not 65. This is a bad dream. That's Austin, San Antonio, Houston. Golly, look at Dallas. It's in the middle of nowhere where I picked this up here. Along with this one, give me a town. Give me a town. Corsicana, Texas. What about here? Permanent Waco. So there's no reason, except for the volcanoes, that are in fact, look at these fires in Mexico, guys. Look at these fires in Mexico. And then you have volcanoes that start right here. Popocatépetl is erupting. And then we have about 20 that work their way down into and through Panama and into Venezuela and Colombia and Peru. So y'all know what time it is. We're burning in, we're inhaling deadly particulates, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. They're showing y'all small fires out here. I love how all the look, we finally have a temporary monitoring site. That's what they're called. They didn't watch it. They didn't want us to watch them move their triangles around, because then we would know what they were thinking, right? So now they're called T's, temporary sites, but they have put one up right here, which tells you everything you need to. This is Los Angeles. All these are the federal buildings. All the other ones are people. Here's another. See what they're thinking next to that orange? Another one. 49. That's not good. Trust me. And we've got somebody's house here that's telling the truth. Must be some volcanic action coming off of this crap here. So all in all, guys, air quality is in the valley here. We've got some problems. It's not as bad as it could be. We've got the fires. Look at the air quality. Look at the air quality up in the fires. Deadly, deadly. Pushing down, and then we have the volcanoes pushing up, and pretty much the whole entire central part of the U.S. is covered in PM 2.5, which is the deadliest particulate air pollutant known to man. Say it a little bit easier. This is going to be the same deal, PM 2.5, and you can see the volcanoes here, and you can see the fires here, right? We're just going to run it through, see what happens. And y'all can see we're getting a lot of PM 2.5 over here in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. This seems to be moving north from the fires here. This is all working its way up. You can see Catalina Island. It's a volcano. They all go out and have a wonderful brunch at, right? Well, they suck up and swallow and inhale the deadliest particulate known to man. And then you can see where it's all coming from. They say it's coming from these sand dunes, but when you study PM 2.5, that's not even a possibility. They've only got 5 or 6 possibilities, and sand dunes are not in the list. Fires are, volcanic activity is, heavy industrial is, but sandstorms? No. I don't know what they're doing over there. All right. We had a couple supercells on the ground here. Looks like we still do here, guys, in Kansas, in Oklahoma, border of Oklahoma. So we do have some supercells on the ground. 3 of them here. And we have a tornado. Looks like a small one, but we have a tornado. We have a tornado. I sound happy. See if we can find her. Get a little bit better look. That red thing right there is what I'm looking for. And it's probably this right here that's not being covered. No, I could be blind. That could just be orange. I could be blind. I am blind. Shit. Alright. Take a look at some forecast maps, guys. Alright, this was today. Look at that little area they thought might kick off. Yellow is going to be our, of course, tornado warnings. Texas, Oklahoma today. We saw 1 tornado in Texas and 1 down in Florida. I think they were trying to get that Trump over there. I'll show you all a map of where they hit. But we only had 2 tornadoes all day long that have been verified. And neither one of them looked like they were the end of the world. This is tomorrow, all the way from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. Guess that pretty much covers it. And gosh, we have another day of Central Texas, North Texas, and then we have severe thunderstorms through Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana. But again, Texas has got a large tornado warning here. So next few days should be interesting. And these are the only 2 tornadoes we had. They were both EF1s or EF0s, and there were no injuries or nothing like that. So these are the ones from yesterday here. There is our first tropical system with an 80% chance of formation. It will be headed out towards Hawaii, my guess. And I'll keep you updated on that. Hawaii is at 25 degrees latitude here north, so that's why I always point to this. It's just off screen here. And we've had plenty of them miss to the south, miss to the north, every which way. Never had a real direct hit with a powerful hurricane that I remember. I hear that, Bob. I'm in East Texas with you. Especially if you're in Northeast, Corsicana, Longview, any of the oil spots up there. All that looked like it was looking bad tomorrow. Look at the irregular lightning. And yes, they're feeding these storms too. Look, here's the proof right here. These people are nothing but slime balls. Nothing but slime balls. What do? You can see the proof here coming out the back. Easy to see. That's the heavy metals that they put. And yes, if you're in Tyler or Longview or Henderson or Corsicana, you're on the hit list, man. You're on the hit list. Better buckle up, Buttercup. Right? And this is, this is seeding through here, guys. This blue shit. It's always seeding. You can see what it looks like on the way out. Alright, we went over that. I don't know how it got there. We had an X flare. Not a huge one. Should have been Earth facing. We didn't have our ghost proton flux move at all, though. And we had nothing really else move. Here is the explosion. I've kept it on. No, they moved it up for me. Thanks. I meant to keep it on. I don't know how that happened, honestly. And here was the X-ray flux on that. And remember, you'll never hear it on the news. But, well, everything's going crazy in the safest city in the world. They call it the safest city in the world. We'll real quick make sure what's going on here. Who won the hockey game? Does anybody know? Game 4. Yes. And there's one other person that had a decent speech on tonight. So we'll play her before we go. And then we'll be right back at you. There's me. I'm everywhere. Everywhere. Isn't that funny? There's one of the Karens. She's trying to chase them. They're on their party boat and she wants them to turn their music down. And she will not stop. It's so funny. Yelling. There's another party barge here. The whole thing's laughable. Karen, stop! This is part 2. Eventually, the only way to shut her down is obviously to have her arrested, right? Let's see if goes her car. I've seen that one. Hey, stop! What's happening? Say, uh-oh, she's stuck. She's stuck. There was someone. Here we go. Nice little speech. A Denver resident wanted to express her love for their mayor who broke Denver, and now they're $250 million deficit, and they have no money for anything, not even the police to come to work, and they're not telling them they're going to pay them. They just told them that they can't pay them, and there won't be any makeups, and don't come to work. Police, fire, first responders. The whole thing is a nightmare. This is what happens when African Americans run cities. It happens every single time because they have pockets that are needy.
Denver Mayor Mike Johnston, wow. He was forced to do a press conference yesterday because he has to explain why Denver has a $250 million deficit. And Denver cannot pay its bills. Denver is also forced to furlough employees. You're going to have to just take days off and you're not getting paid for it. It's terrible. It's not just mismanagement of money. That's too soft a term. It's not mismanagement. It is straight up theft. We warned you. And now Mike Johnston has to explain to people why this trust fund kid from Vail with his skinny pants has driven the city of Denver into a complete and total economic Armageddon, and set taxpayer money on
Because
fire.
they're Democrats.
So he has this press conference, and he says, "Oh, it's probably going to get worse."
Someone try to buy us a cup of coffee tonight, guys. It's getting glim out there. We received less than half the coffee that we did every other month for the last 5 years, and no super chats. If y'all can help us out. We need a couple strong months to come out of this. Obviously, they elected a Democrat. You're going to always get the same results. It's like thinking things are going to change, but doing the same old to get yourself there.
The city of Denver has come through other very challenging times, and we're going to pull back together, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. But it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah, okay there, skinny pants, Mikey. I don't believe you, and the people of Denver don't believe you.
No one does.
These stupid donors put all of this money behind this fool, and he has done nothing but watch the crime rates increase in this city and I remember, there's a big welcome sign at the courthouse downtown Denver that said, "We love immigrants." Huge sign, you could see it for miles. Everybody saw it.
That worked out well.
That was in 2021, 2022. Because Mike Johnston saw the federal dollar signs. You start bringing all these people here, and you can claim, it's an emergency, it's a national emergency, a city emergency. So he got some money from Joe Biden, but not nearly enough. And now, this city is in the red by overall over $1.5 billion.
Oh my God.
And of course, he has gone begging President Trump for federal handouts.
$1.5 billion? What are y'all smoking? Oh, I do know what y'all are smoking already. Never mind.
He also, in this press conference of his from yesterday, blamed all of these.
THC was outlawed in Texas yesterday, guys, or Friday. Outlawed for good. I don't know. I'm thinking about moving. I'm looking at different states and places. But they increased the penalties and outlawed all types of THC, even A, T, whatever, 8. They got them all yesterday here in Texas.
Problems on President Trump, even though he has only been in office like 4 months. Not any blame.
Spanky cool, none of that shit is as good as this Hydra I got next to me. I still deal with my same buddy that I dealt with when I was 10 years old. Nothing's ever changed. He never even raised my prices. $10 a gram for hydro. It's cheaper than the fake shit you buy at the store. But Denver, you can get some good wacky shit up there.
On Biden or Harris or any of the previous administration for all of the problems with the letting all these illegal aliens in here and telling the sanctuary cities and states to house them, feed them, clothe them, give them dental care, give them free homes, free health care, free education, free scooters, free cars, whatever they need, get them registered to vote, get them driver's licenses, whatever you got to do to keep them happy, do it.
So, Tip, you don't understand that the federal government, not the state government, they put all these people on. They were told, and I showed everyone one of the whistleblowers, I hope she's still alive, that said that they were told to find any possible reason to get them on Section 8 immediately, and get them on Social Security disability immediately, get them on food stamps immediately. Now it's coming out of the mouths of some of the people that have been dependent on these social programs for years, a lot of African American people, a lot of Caucasians, they're starting to feel it now. All the money's been spread out by an extra 30 or 40 million people that shouldn't be here, that aren't paying taxes, and that probably are using your Social Security number.
And now look, this fool is begging for money because he stole $250 million to take care of foreigners. I remember also the homeless hotels. There's a hotel downtown Denver.
We all remember, y'all, the laughing stock and still are. Of course, y'all don't come close to Boston. Y'all don't come close to Seattle. You don't come close to Portland. But you're working your way up to number one. Don't worry. You'll make it one day.
I don't remember the street right off, but it's one of the Aloft hotels.
We say, Jay.
They turned it into a homeless shelter back during the pandemic. I remember going past that hotel because it's like a kind of a boutique hotel. I think it's under maybe Marriott hotels, but he turned it into a homeless hotel, bought the hotel out, and I remember seeing these walkers in the windows. I still have pictures, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they literally turned this into a homeless hotel. It has since gone back to...
Over the last 2 weeks, I've seen all the people that are used to getting $1,200 to feed their family, and most of them are still working. I think you have to work too nowadays and be looking for work. They've made it as hard as possible, but they were used to getting $1,200 and have for years. They were getting $200, all of a sudden getting $200 for their family of 5 to eat on. My friend applied with his family. They offered him $46 a month. They said, yeah, you qualify for $46 a month for food. What do you buy with $46 a month? What do you eat on? I don't know.
Profitability and getting all the homeless people out. The homeless people used to hang out in front of this damn hotel and rob people going in for conventions and different things like that, to the point where nobody wanted to have their convention here because it's not safe to walk the streets of downtown Denver. It's still like that. The crime rate is through the roof, skyrocketed under Mike Johnson.
Excuse me, I love the education. And there's a book that Kamala Harris wrote called The Education of the Negro. Well, what I love is the education of the African American over the last year. They have learned not to follow Democrats, not to believe anything that they're, can I say leaders? Because they're not their leaders. The criminals that perpetrate leading you say. These people are awakened. They're no longer woke. And now we just need to figure out how to get all together against our government. Because really, Trump has done nothing. I know y'all think that he's solved the world. But, you know, Elon's back at work full time, quit the government, as of today said, back at work. Twitter went to shit because all the clowns were in there running it. All the FBI and CIA was in there running it. His Tesla went to shit. And, you know, let me say, if the black female continues to stay awakened, especially through this midterm, that's the most important thing, because I think they're going to make it hard to use the machines to cheat. They've used the machines most all of our lives to cheat and put in who they like. Well, I think Trump's making it really hard to do that. And if we can get people like her to vote for the actual patriots I don't care what color they are, right? Then we're going to win, win, win. Everyone's going to win. If they're able to put in who they'd like, everyone's going to lose, lose, lose. I just don't think that they can do it. New Hampshire went to paper ballots today only, and Trump's executive order might force several others to go to paper ballots, but he will be sending around people to make sure that, one, the machines aren't compromised November 5th this year, and number two, that they're not hooked up to the internet. Why would you possibly have a voting machine system hooked up on an internet basis? Well, we all know why.
Austin. And then, of course, you bring all these illegals here. I watched you put them on Auraria campus back in 2022. In 2023, I watched you put them on Auraria campus in...
Yes, the Federal Reserve announced that there will be no more pennies, and they're going to quit printing them soon. I wonder if they were copper. Of course, if you have copper pennies, I don't know what year that's whatever, then they're worth a lot. I've got a bunch of those silver pennies from World War II. Some of them are worth a lot. But just a regular penny, there's been so many billions of them in circulation, I just don't ever see them being worth anything, especially if they're not pure copper or pure steel. I don't think they'll be worth anything. They're not worth anything right now. I hate them in my pocket.
June of 2023, when the students were graduating, you had to keep the illegals away from the students. You think I didn't see that when you shoved them in that church on Auraria campus? I went by and got myself a meal because I said, since I'm a taxpayer, I funded this meal because they're giving free food out to the illegals. I'm like, I'm eating. Sure did. Mike Johnston is literally blaming President Trump for what is happening in Denver.
That's how all
knowing that he spent...
All Democrats play this game the same. It's called projection. To watch the mayor of Chicago call Trump a racist because he would only hire African American people.
$1.5 billion taking care of illegals. Brandon Johnson is having the same problem in Chicago. He's the lowest rated mayor in the country, 6% approval rating. He's not going to get reelected. Nobody's going to reelect him just because he's black.
Not if we can fix machines.
He thinks that's the answer to all his problems. How you gonna fix the deficit? Black. How you gonna clean up all the crime?
I'm black.
How are you?
You can see that she's now awakened. This is the most dangerous thing the Democrats could ever imagine. An awakened black woman. Do y'all know that almost every black woman votes? Almost every black woman votes. And hey, most all white women vote. Between the white and black women, they determine, especially if we can get rid of these Spanish people that are here illegally, they determine who's going to be in office. Just those two categories, Caucasian and African American women. Those two categories tell you who's going to be elected right there. Men, they just don't get signed up and they just don't vote. African males are awakened now, but they still won't vote. Caucasian males, well, a lot of them are sleeping from what I can tell, but those that are awakened, very few of them vote. Very few of them vote.
You're going to help the citizens who are drowning in debt from all the high property taxes and the taxes from living in the city of Chicago. Black on black, black up, down black. My wife is black, my dog is black, my couch is black, my shoes are black, and my face is black. Back to Denver. Mike Johnston, little Mikey, spent all their money on illegals, and now it's coming back to bite you in your skinny ass, just like I knew it. Just like we all knew it. It's not Trump's fault, bro. You might as well forget that shit. No, this is all you. This is all you. You did this.
Way to go, lady. Way to go. I don't know your name. Don't know your name, but that's the speech that everyone's been watching today. An epic speech. True. I just like seeing people awakened. That's really all. Look, y'all remember who that is, right? That's the mayor. Karen freezes up when asked why she cut $20 million in funding to firefighters. They told me to. We're going to steal the land. So here it is, probably Switzerland. It's a run of some sort. Anyway, they've even ruined Switzerland. Isn't that crazy? If y'all haven't seen that video up there, it's literally the funniest thing you'll ever. Alright, so this is the video right before they put I've seen this video. They put her to DEATH.
Conclusion of yesterday's hearing. Welcome back.
Remember they kicked him off of YouTube? He had like 5 million subscribers. Next News Network, wherever.
Conclusion of yesterday's hearing. Welcome back. Thanks for having me here. Karen, what we concluded yesterday's hearing, we were discussing the new constitution that was instated in the United States. Right? So
the audio is terrible. Some jackass put some in the background, but we'll try to listen to what she has to say. She was killed. She committed suicide 2 weeks after this.
Today, in effect, there is a different constitution. Unfortunately, we are being snookered by the Congress because every 2 years they reintroduce a state of martial law. And we are not under our first constitution. We are under the second secret constitution. What that constitution provides is that our tax dollars are going to pay interest to the Federal Reserve. They're not paying for any of the services.
May I just say that ignorance is bliss. You know, my wife said that I ruined her life by awakening her to what was going on around her, right? And now she'd have it no other way. But it did cause our divorce. I wasn't trying to convince her of anything. You can just hear me in my studio or study. And she heard everything while she was trying to watch some kind of love movies or whatever. And a lot of the reason that we did separate, of course, COVID, and we both working out of the house, but she didn't want to be awakened anymore, and now she's one of the investigators. She knows more about shit than me. I said, isn't this a change? Isn't this a change? So now you know more about this subject than I do? She used to tell me, ignorance is bliss. Before I knew all this shit that you taught me, I used to be happy. Now I can't be happy. Well, you know what? Figure it out. Learn how to enjoy the life that we're given, and also question everything put in front of you. Question all these people because they're not on your team, right? I'm on your team, like I was on her team, and we're still best friends. She's coming over tomorrow. But it's different. It's different. Now she wants to know everything. What's new? What's everything? Before, it's hard to wake up. It's hard to wake up. It really is. Imagine if you go from a far left thinking liberal Karen into someone that's actually examining the facts and listening to what these people say, and then listening to them change what they say over and over and over and over. Did everyone watch my video today? The killer's father was at Barack Obama's home 3 weeks before the 2 Israeli kids got killed. I hope Mossad takes that little bitch out, okay? I really do. Because they know now, okay? They geophoned the father. I don't know who would have done that. It had to be a major agency. But they didn't only geophone the son, they geophoned the father, and there he is. He's from Illinois, but he's in Obama's mansion for well over 34 minutes that they can tell, with other Democratic officials about 3 weeks ago. Then all of a sudden all of a sudden his son goes crazy, right? Manchurian candidate.
That we need in our country. Instead, where are we getting the money? We're getting it from the poppy fields in Afghanistan and the drug trade. That's how we're financing our country.
I could have told y'all that since day one. They had everyone in America hooked on poppy. As soon as the attorneys went after them, we left Afghanistan with those blow up jets. It's impossible to get any Percocets or anything like that now. Not that I want any. I'm too old, but everyone I knew and everyone's brother that they knew were taking those damn things about 5 or 10 years ago, and the whole country was in on it. Why were we really in Afghanistan? Because they grow over 90% of the poppy in the world. That's the only reason. Guess who grows most of the rest of it? North Korea. Did y'all see my video of their ship that broke in half? Imagine building that ship for 3.5 years, and it was called the Kim Jong-un Destroyer. It was a missile launch ship. Well, it broke in half when they launched it, and I have a video up of the satellite images. Absolutely humorous. The funniest part about the whole thing is, or not so funny, is Kim Jong-un, he's got a bunch of hungry dogs over there. And you know what I mean. Whoever launched it wrong, whoever did it wrong, maybe all of the above, nothing but dog food now. Nothing but dog food now. You're right, Dinah, there's something big coming.
Now, you mentioned that the secret constitution allows for the interest to be paid to the Federal Reserve. But isn't that the Federal Reserve Act that we know was established in 1913, that was passed on Christmas Eve? So, where does that law fall into place?
Remember that President Lincoln was assassinated by the Jesuit. That was in order to prevent the greenback dollars that Lincoln commissioned directly by the Treasury Department.
She knows everything. You know what? Did you hear? Boy, she must have. I don't know how she knows all this. I know it, but I can't believe she knows. She was killed 2 weeks after this, and this is brand new. That guy only got on YouTube 3 or 4 years ago.
And so what happened was the bank that day was then able to continue to earn interest on the currency of the United States. That was why he was assassinated. And the reason why we had that second constitution enacted in 1871 is that is when the Revolutionary War debt doesn't do. As a matter of fact, one day I opened my mail and somebody mailed me the financing statement for those debts that began with the unpaid interest.
All right. So I will give you all that. case y'all want to watch it. You know what? I can't believe that someone tracked the father's cell phone. The father turns out to be this huge Democratic worker. He gave a speech before Trump's State of the Union, gave a speech after Trump's State of the Union, gave a speech at the union workers, and then he was so mad about Doge and Elon Musk. Well, I guess his son went and did what he needed to do, right? Go to the Jews. We'll watch it for a second. I will put this in here in case you want to share it. Let's see if we can. We'll watch it only because I need y'all to know that this man was at Obama's house with top-level Democrats 3 weeks before his son, Eric, or Eli, here, their names are here. Eli Rodriguez, Eric Rodriguez is the father, shot the 2 Jews at the museum. Now, I don't even know if they were shot. I thought it was a false flag because how the police were acting. They weren't even grabbing the guy. His hands were free. I've never seen a setup like this in my whole life. So I was like, the fuck's going on, man? This guy just gunned down, emptied a clip on the 2 people, and they're acting like it's a Sunday fun day? That's when I started to get suspicious. I had all that pulled up for you guys when they killed the feed 2 nights ago. And I will say they went to my computer. I had to fight. It's getting old, but I'll keep fighting. As long as y'all share, right? This is the dad.
Diabetes.
Coronary disease. Autoimmune disease is the answer.
Pretty much all chronic diseases of the Western world are associated with a gut microbiome that is unhealthy.
What are the odds? What are the odds that they're not even going to let it play, are they? What are the odds that the dad was at Barack Obama's mansion in D.C. 3 weeks before the shooting? And March 4th, he gave the headline speech before Trump's State of the Union, and then again afterwards. Watch.
James Kaufman will report today.
Yes,
May 24th, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot wrong with the shooting earlier this week.
It was suicide.
Israeli couple.
You didn't hear
As
it?
more and more information comes in, it looks like it was another deep state planned situation. D.C. shooter's father met with Democrats at Obama mansion weeks before shooting. Father of D.C. shooting suspect was Democrats' honored guest at Trump's congressional address. This is his father. The father
What a small world.
in the murder of 2 Israeli embassy staffers at the Capitol Jewish Museum on Wednesday.
Now, we don't even know if they were murdered. We didn't see any ambulances outside the center, right? There were so many problems with this deal. No ambulances. I've got all the video. They blurred out the video. They're soft handling this guy, like not to mess his suit up. The fuck? What the fuck's going on? Where are the firemen, the ambulances when it? Where are for that matter, where are the police if someone just emptied a clip? It's called a magazine. I hate to say clip.
Was the honored guest of a far-left lawmaker at President Trump's joint address to Congress in March, the New York Post reported today. Eric Rodriguez is an anti-Trump SEIU member who also spoke at a Democratic press conference ahead of Trump's address. His son, accused killer Elias Rodriguez, 30, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder after allegedly
You know what, Jerry? We have to early the first quarter of 2027. I've been spoke to. So we have a year and 7 or 8 months before the really bad goes down. A year and 7 or 8 months. So anything y'all can do to prepare during that year and 7 or 8 months, it's going to bring us into around March, when they truly believe Jesus was born, March or April. And it's going to be a shit show.
Cutting down Yaron Lajinsky, 28, and Sarah Morgan, 26, were about to become engaged. Or so we're told. Quote, Eric Rodriguez, the father of the suspected murderer, was our guest during the president's joint speech to Congress, but we don't know his family, a spokesperson for Representative.
Right here, GPS of his phone. They don't want to let you know that Trump and them already did a geofence of his dad's phone. Put the Israeli Capitol Jewish Museum shooter's father at Barack Obama, Hussein Obama's house in D.C. residence, which is 4 minutes from the mosque there, which I don't even think they're Hispanic, but whatever. For at least 32 minutes, his phone pinged from within inside of Barack Obama's house. Now we find out the Democrats invited accused terrorist kill his dad to the Trump address for 5 or 6 speeches before and after the Trump address, before the heinous crime, 3 weeks later. Hello?
Jesus Chuy Garcia, Democrat, Illinois, told the Post Thursday night. Garcia in March had described Rodriguez as an outspoken advocate against attacks on veteran services and the rights of unionized federal employees. These mentioned quote-unquote attacks on veteran services appear to be a reference to the Department of Government Efficiency's work on eliminating waste and fraud and abuse from the system. Quote, Eric represents the very best of our community, someone who has served his country, continues to serve his fellow veterans, and fights every day to protect the dignity of our working people.
But his son's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? He's a model citizen, and his son goes around, mag dumping at the museum.
Congressman said in a statement on March 3rd, his presence at the joint address is a powerful statement. We will not sit back while veterans and workers are treated as political pawns. According to the Post, Rodriguez also appeared in a Service Employees International Union SEIU video the same day, speaking as an Iraq War veteran and an employee with the Veterans Affairs Department. Now granted, both these people are Hispanic. Why are they after these Jews? Well, I think we all know. One word, Obama. The SEIU, one of the largest labor unions in North America, donates millions of dollars to left-wing Democratic politicians who promote government expansion and higher taxes. I've been with the VA for 3 years. And the reason why I'm in D.C. is because I'm concerned about what Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Doge are doing to the VA system.
I think that the only thing that Trump and them did to the VA system is try to get the money pointed at the veterans themselves instead of using the money for other purposes and theft. That's all I think that personally Trump and Doge did. I might be wrong. I've been wrong before, but if I thought Trump had done anything, I'd be the first one to tell you, because I'm no trumpet. I see all the crap going on. I'm kind of like that black lady I just saw. I'm awakened. So I step back and notice every single thing happening. Who's shaking whose hands? Like here.
He said in the SEIU video, Rodriguez was also featured speaker at an emotional Democratic press conference.
Look, these are the Hakeem Jeffries, right on his right. Woo from California here. And his son is the one that did all the shooting and killing. If y'all don't realize that this is a Manchurian candidate type situation, it's pretty evident by now, right?
On March 4th.
Did you know that you can have permanent teeth in just 24 hours? That's right. Only 24 hours and your new smile is ripped and with a...
Flanked by Representative Ted Lieu, Democrat, California. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat, New York,
Liar.
and other Democratic lawmakers, Rodriguez appeared on the verge of tears as he decried the Dodge cuts. Right now, the Trump administration is trying to cut the VA frontline workers and let billionaires steal our health care. Veterans were under attack. Last week, 1,400 workers were fired illegally, he said. They're slashing staff, crushing unions, and selling out the VA. For what? So billionaires can make more money while veterans sit on a waiting list, or worse, get no treatment at all, Rodriguez added. That video was shared on social media by the left-wing veterans group Vote Vets. So the son of the basically crown prince of the Democratic Party took out these two Jews or Israelis.
We don't know. We don't know if anyone was taken out. What we don't see are ambulances, fire trucks, police. We see two people apprehending the guy. It looked like they're buddy with him, okay? The whole thing's another shit show. It very well could be, okay? Very well could be. You know what? I have looked and looked. If y'all can come up with a picture of an ambulance or a fire truck or a policeman on that scene, and if y'all saw how they treated this man like a prince, that's why I said the gem of the Democratic Party. I don't think these people might not have existed. I'm not quite sure. But let me tell you, Mossad, they know, and they'll take care of it too. They'll take care of it one way or another.
About a month after his father met with Democrats at the Obama mansion, yes, his son Elias on Wednesday unleashed nearly 24 rounds on the young Jewish couple and screamed, "Free, free Palestine," when he was taken into custody, which doesn't look like much at all. Let's take a look at some pictures. Here he is with the congressman that flew, the shooter's father and their family to D.C. I don't know if it was first ever visit, but that's how this all got started, obviously. Also notice that the news media has blurred all the available video. And ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to make this look like this was someone that was from Palestine.
No, look, no lights. No one's grabbing him. Look, his hands are up here. You'd think that he would be slammed to the ground. The whole thing just doesn't make sense. This is some kind of cloth he has. There's no blood anywhere on him. Look at that little gun tucked in his butt with no holster. What kind of federal marshal shows up that quickly? First off, it would always be police, and then has no holster. The whole thing is freak. It's a freak job, man. And then who is Shaquita back here? Look at her. They try to make her go away. Try to put some shit up here. You can't even see anyone's faces. Where are the ambulances? Where's the video of the incident? If it was this big, Where are the first responders? Where's the fire department? Where are the police cars? The hundreds of them that would have shown up. Because this is only a mile or two away from the White House.
Well, in fact, I believe it was someone who's more associated with the Democratic Party and the deep state.
I typed one story idea, and this AI built a complete illustrated book with...
We'll never know if any of this is true. I got the feeling that it might be, well, a staged situation right off.
FF.
I will have to wait for more information, but at this point...
2 nights ago, guys, when they pulled me so hard, I was going to try to prove to y'all that this was a false Freddy. And that's why they wouldn't let me go live. Remember, I gave up, which I never give up, but I had never been to a situation where I couldn't, although I had internet, I had everything working, all my software working, it wouldn't go live. It just wouldn't.
It's more than ugly looking. Why would this Veterans Affairs staffer from Illinois be meeting with high-level Democratic officials and Obama at the Obama mansion 4 weeks before the shooting? This is hard to believe. Is this coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. Now, we know that the gentleman was here per his phone GPS data. They've actually done so much work on this.
Someone seriously.
They knew the father of the shooter was at the Obama residence for, well, over 30 minutes. As usual,
3 weeks.
all roads lead right back to Barack Hussein Obama. I would say awfully peculiar. But by now we know that any and everything associated with Barack Hussein Obama is awfully peculiar. And now we find out the killer's father, Eric Rodriguez, met privately with Democratic officials and Obama at the Obama mansion just weeks before this heinous crime. Please share, please subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments below. A little too close for comfort, I would say, and always remember that anything's possible in Bizarro World. God bless you.
Right. Little kid doesn't know how to handle me, does he? Let's see if he's telling the truth or not. If anyone had a camera on him, it'd be up here. Look, this guy. Jerome, are you scared of him? He's going to beat everyone up. If he sees you wearing a red MAGA hat, I don't even know if I can play this. He's so angry. I'd like a piece of him. He says everything. I can't believe, in Joe Biden's America, this guy would have already been imprisoned. But here, nothing seems to happen. Big deal. Nothing seems to happen to any Democrats. Ever, 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 ever. So it looks like Canada is going to go quiet with you guys. The American online platforms have become seas of racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobic. No, it's called freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, which you can't stand because, well, I'm sure we'll get... Look, Islam boy back here. We know who your boys are. You might have a good-looking suit on, but we know who your boys are.
Large American online platforms have become seas of racism, misogyny, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and hate in all its forms. And are being used by criminals
to harm our children. My government will act. And today we're announcing our plan to fight crime, to protect Canadians, and to build communities that are safe, secure, and strong.
Are you going to get rid of the Muslims? Because that's the only way you can do it, screwball, dumbass.
A plan to make Canada secure, to make Canada strong.
That doesn't look good. That's an elephant? I would have never, ever guessed that was an elephant, guys. Look. He seems normal, right? Hey, bye, Felicia. Time to go back to Afghanistan. Bye. Can you say bye?
This virgin doesn't give a fuck if you die! He sent messages in the house just past their big, beautiful fucking bill! And it's full of cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and staff! That means poor people, sick people, disabled people, hungry
God, I want to follow him to war.
families! Apparently your survival is too fucking expensive! Trump! He fucking went in court voting again! 12 migrants got deported to South Sudan! Our country is not even...
They turned around and brought those losers back, and it was even worse than South Sudan. I hope they get you and put you in South Sudan, you little weasel.
Fucking from! No warning, no Genesis, it just ripped away like garbage like their lives don't mean a goddamn thing! And now get this! Christy Noem just revoked Howard's ability to enroll international students! Not just new ones! Existing international students are being forced to transfer out! These students worked their asses to get out here! Sacrificed everything, crossed those...
So what are you saying, sir? This is just what we want. People that can't control themselves. We want them to be a part of our society. With a big knot, that's what happened even in Switzerland. I never thought it would happen in Switzerland. I won't lie to y'all. I thought that they were going to be smart enough to keep enough Muslims out of the country. But even Switzerland got took over. And hey, good thing they stopped construction on the Dallas Mosque and the Houston Mosque. There's one going up in Florida right now. It's going to be another town that practices Shiite law, which is illegal here in the U.S. These people don't care. They're here to take you over and butcher you if you haven't read their law.
Carry dreams in their fists! Targeted, racist, nationalistic fucking bullshit! And an ABC! They just told them we were torn it down on Trump! Are you fucking kidding me? Torn it down while the country's on fire? No! We don't tone shit down! We scream! We shove the truth in their faces! We call Trump exactly what he is! A fascist! A criminal! A lying fucking tyrant!
He seems pleasurable. I like if my daughter was like over at his house one night, for spending the night over deal.
Unfortunately, big fucking mobilized! Nationwide! Loud disruptive fears! This isn't a political issue! It's a fucking humanitarian emergency! We rise the fuck up and we do not stop!
No, they have a terrible plan for us. If you don't believe him, they do. They're taking over the country from within with help from this fuck up, right? Fuck up. Bill lost his trial in the Netherlands. He has life in prison waiting for him. If we could ever get him to the Netherlands, he has life in prison waiting for him on the whole COVID deal. He lost that case. Life in prison. Criminal. Lord, girl, don't do that on me. I'll have some fun with Jim that had to go to work for CNN, and Comey, who thought he was going to jail yesterday. Comey, I mean, you should be in jail. I'm sure you'll never see a day from behind bars. But if you did, I would actually, it would change my whole life. To see any of you quote-unquote bigwigs go down the toilet for lying, the treason that you committed against my country, well then, that's how we do it, right?
One of the things we've seen recently is the dismantling of the Office of Public Integrity, which historically, typically, if people are going to, from the part of the Justice Department, it's the part of the Justice that's supposed to make sure prosecutions of lawmakers aren't political. What do you make of the dismantling of that? They've cut staff, they've tried to cut their role. What does that mean? What should people understand about it?
Well, these are the people who, through decades and decades, have seen every kind of case. And so they're there to make sure that the work, no matter who's in charge in the White House, no matter who the Attorney General is, that the work is done consistently with previous practice and consistent with the law. I know Republicans these days aren't big in thinking about principle or precedent.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be deeply sorry that that disappears, because someday there will be a Democratic president and there'll be investigations of Republican office holders.
I doubt it.
If I'm them, I sure would want these career people in place, making sure that it's done in the right way.
One of the things we've seen recently is
I doubt it, is all I can say. She's just going to steal it from the white family. Look. She's just going to steal it for the little black boy. Look at her. That's how we do it. Mom, is that how we do it? The Asian people never know what to do. They get over on the Asian people the worst. If it was me, I'd be pulling my gun from my pocket right now and capping her in the forehead and saying, you don't have to let go of my scooter because you're done. You're done. I don't like any of these people pretty much, man. God, this guy's arguing Biden was sharp behind the scenes. I can't let y'all see that. That'd be ridiculous. Look, they got some new Nazis. They're back. Memorial Day in Missouri. At least he's not wearing something over his shit. Is this Kash Patel, Dan Bongino? Because they ain't done shit, man. They ain't done shit. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino.
Points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding.
No, she was kicked out of the game and called Caitlin Clark a piece of trash. That's what really happened.
By Johnson. BG, right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Alright. Well, I won't allow there to be any violence on this channel. I'm anti-violence. Unless I'm doing the beating. Then I'm 100% pro-violence. She's fine. Leave her alone.
There's more.
What a freak. Alright, guys. Lots of love. Lots of love. We all know Psaki's a sellout bitch. Look at him. Shall we listen to him?
Thanks for putting us here.
We know that there's no people really like this because we are the conservative Republicans. And why would they be out in the street? Because we're winning. We know what they are. We know what they are.
Thanks for putting us here in Kansas City, Missouri, in honor of Memorial Day. We are here at the National World War I Museum and Memorial to give a speech and to demonstrate our ideals to the country and the world. Reclaim America! Reclaim America!
So, Mishnah, I was off a little bit. Right? I was off a little bit. I'm the only one that covers that shit. I was off by a few hours. Not too bad. That's Starlink there. Sonoma County re-entering the atmosphere. 10:35 p.m. I wonder if this was the big one that I called out for today. I hope not. That'd be the 24th. I hope not, because that one was between 60 and 100 feet in diameter. I hope not. That one would have been a show killer, a subdivision killer for sure, neighborhood killer for sure, not a city killer, but I bet that's the rock. That'd be right about the distance that rock was. Everyone told me, what direction do I look up towards? Hey, JPL's got it as a 7 on the condition code, 9 being highly uncertain, 0 being certain. If they don't know how big it is and what direction it's going in, and they'll move that condition code up because they don't want to look like fools, they release the data, and this is probably the rock making entry into our atmosphere here. Remember, it was a big one, between 5 to 9 stories in height. I'm the only channel that covered it, and YouTube wouldn't even give me. I used to get 20,000 views off shit like that. They wouldn't even give me 1,500 views. And I nailed it with all the astronomical units, with the weight, the speed. Nailed it right after JPL released the information. You get tired of the game, especially when you never win. Get tired of the game. And then we already know what it is because I covered it. Right? Covered it. I said 10:30. I guess I meant 10:30 p.m. They called it TM something time, which I was not familiar with. But here is 2025 KE1. Extremely close flyby. I put that together yesterday, I'm pretty sure. May 22nd for 3rd, 4th flyby. So, I don't know. We also had one flyby a few days earlier than that. You can see these numbers over here, joke. Anything to keep the truth out of the public's hand. Doom, large space rock. With all the work I do, look, that's me too. That's me too. That's me too. That's me too. These are all, that's me too. All different fucking rocks. But no one seems to ever give me any views. Well, that's me too, isn't it? That's me too, isn't it? All I do is type in meteor on X. That's me too, isn't it? I'm the only fucking person that covers shit to be treated like I'm treated, period. I love you guys. Thanks for all the super chats, and thanks for all the cups of coffee tonight, especially, because I think we got 0. And I got nothing but love for y'all, no matter what. I know that you got to worry about gas and food tomorrow. Lots of love. Y'all, please share our videos. If you can't afford to do anything else, please share them. Please subscribe if you have not. And I want you to always remember, anything's possible in bizarro world. God bless you guys.